Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Trader Talks, where today we're focusing on Opendoor Technologies, which has been in the news in recent weeks and months, and the share price has had a bit of a rise, it is fair to say, albeit it is still down quite significantly from where it opened as a public company back in 2020. So let's get into it. Please do remember, if you're on the podcast, the link is in the bio. Do remember to like, share, subscribe. Drop me a comment as well if you're on X or YouTube. And do remember, the presentation is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as investment advice, personal recommendation, or an offer of or solicitation to buy or sell any financial instruments. So before we have a look at the chart, let's just discuss what has happened very briefly. The stock, as I said, is down quite significantly since going public in 2020, about 70%. And in recent weeks and months, the company's come into the spotlight after activist investor Eric Jackson declared it could go 100 times higher and the board should be doing more and the CEO should do this and do that. And actually, last week, I think it was Friday to be specific, the CEO or former CEO, Carrie Wheeler, stepped down. So what happens next? Who's going to join as CEO? Who's going to be on the board? All these things, of course, will influence what the share price does. But let's also have a look at the chart because I think it's absolutely fascinating. So the low, I mean, this is everything you need to see here, going back to when it opened here, became public around 2020, and we dropped obviously quite significantly, as you see, but we did actually make it up to around about 40 bucks or so. So that's a key level just to think about now. I know we're only trading at just over $3, but when we drop down to the daily chart, what was the previous all-time low from December 2022 around 0.5, we did end up going all the way down to 0.50. However, what you can see here is once we got back above that previous low, the share price really jumped higher. And the first level that really interests me here is 488 or $5, depending what you want to be, how specific you want to be. But the high from 2023, or back end of 2023, I should say, you can see was touched, and we spiked lower and dropped down, and what's happened since then has happened since then. But it's quite interesting just to see how well the level has been respected, I would say. So obviously, if this share price is to continue to go higher, just bear in mind that level again, and how significant that it could be. Also, when we sort of zoom out, and I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller just to show some more levels, you can see it's also coincided with this whole area in and around $5. So that's a key line in the sand, shall we call it? And even above that, you've got 627. So for this really to kick on, you'd have to say at some point it's got to clear this massive resistance zone, one that has been respected incredibly well. It was support and then turns into resistance, and then obviously you've got this zone now that we've started to create. So if at any point the share price does continue to go higher and above $6.27, that would be a big win for the bulls. And you've also got to imagine a lot of people that are short or have been shorting it, they would not want to see price go back above that area. So in the short to medium term, assuming things continue to go to the upside, that would be a real key level to keep an eye on. And also another few that I think are worth talking about here: 627, as we mentioned, but also 1077, a support turn resistance area from 2021 and 2022, and then also 1378. And actually, when we just zoom out and look at these in a little bit more detail, you just see the significance of those as well, and not just 1076 from the 21-22 area, but also the lows that we had in 2020 once it became public. So they would be the next, so 1, 2, 3 key resistance levels that maybe you have some short-term resistance at, assuming price continues to go to the upside. Above all of those, you probably feel a little bit more confident that this thing can start pushing higher. And also, what I would say, just dragging in another area, 1954. These would all be points where I'd say people would be looking to potentially take some profit. So, you know, there are obviously people out there that think this goes and does go on and makes a new all-time high. And of course, for anyone long, that would be absolutely fantastic. But it's not going to be without its challenges. It's not going to be without areas where people say that's enough for me, or I think this resistance level is too good. Now, what would just taking off everything, if you were to tell me or ask me what do I think is the most important level of them all, I'm immediately drawn towards this one. A break above here, and I will probably call it a bit of a zone, but significantly a break above 1087 and 35 would be the one that I'd say, okay, if price can continue to get above that, then this thing can really start to motor. And then you start to think about different targets from there. Let me know what you think anyway. I know some people have got lofty aspirations for this stock, but it won't be without challenges. I'll see you on the next episode. Trader Talks.